What it do, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of the new and improved Moshpit Underground interview series. We're in the studio today with everybody but Jay. What's up, man? How you doing today?
Doing well, man. It's been a long day, but I'm doing super.
Yeah, I understand that. At least we actually had some good weather today after all that snow we've been having going on. But start out, man. Where you from?
So I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and I always get like, oh wow, Brooklyn, or like, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
From that, so shake your heads. And I moved out to Denver in June, mid-pandemic.
Oh, wow.
It was just I knew I needed to move because when you grow up in somewhere that's like one track mind, money, like it's taxing, and I knew there was more than one perspective in life. I got a glimpse of the mountains at a trip here the year before, and I just sent it, as we say here in Denver.
Yeah.
I just packed my car and just send it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now let's get into the music aspect of it, because that's what we're here for. Where did that start with you? Like, where did your musical journey begin?
So I think there's like two main parts to really hone in on that form together as one.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, we'd listen to the radio, and in the car, my mom and dad were always like, you can only listen to Radio Disney because it have clean songs.
Yeah,
and it's like, Radio Disney, we're all ears, for those who remember, whatever. And, I used to sneak my alarm clock. They didn't know also had a radio. I used to sneak like Z100 and like other channels. And I was like, oh, Linkin Park, what is this? In the car, I'd be like, yeah, Hillary Duff and whatever. Those are cool. But
yeah.
And that was really where like my musical journey began. I would even time out my homework that I could finish at a certain time because I knew the radio had 10 songs commercial free after. And I was like, I got to finish.
Yeah.
And then fast forward a little bit longer, I knew a lot of songs for a fourth grader, but my teacher said, we're going to do a poetry month. Like, for this month, all your papers, your essays, any writings in class, we're going to put them into poems, which we all thought was kind of corny, but we did it. And she thought I was really good at it. And she's like, hey, listen, Jacob, that's my legal name. She's like, oh yeah, like you're doing great with these poetry. What if you wrote poems for the rest of the year? And I was like, oh, okay, I can write 8 sentences inside of a paper. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. And throughout the year, I just kind of really got good at poetry. Had her again in 6th grade, did the same, and it started to click, songwriting, poetry, and I was listening to a lot of like pop punk, so to write a song that sounds like Boys Like Girls was not super hard,
Yeah.
And it just onward from there,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so you would categorize yourself as like a vocalist?
Yeah.
As opposed to just an instrumentalist?
I think like I own guitars, bass, I have a drum set. Like I can do
You're
a little bit on everything.
Yeah.
But none of it came easy. They always say like, oh, I don't come from a musical family, and neither do I. The first sighting of an instrument that I saw was my dad bought a guitar when he came to this country. He saw Elvis on TV and he's like, I need a guitar, and never ever learned it. So there was no music in my family ever. It's work. Anyone who says it's natural talent is just not willing to put in the time, I think.
So, you say your dad came from another country. Where is that?
Pops is from Lebanon. Mom's family is all from Egypt. So,
does that musical style transfer over to you at all?
Yeah, like in the new album, there's something they do in like Middle Eastern stuff is where the person will finish the line and then a harmony of people will come in after and repeat the line to put emphasis on the ending, and then we do that. But I don't think there's other types of influence on that.
Okay.
It's just that one little thing.
All right. Okay, so when I've listened to, some of your music, and I'm hearing a lot now. So I'm wondering, like, are you on the instrumentals also, or do you have a band that you work with?
Yeah, so The project is called Everybody But Jay because I've worked with so many different artists on so many different levels, live band, recorded band.
Like a Dave Matthews type thing.
Exactly. Except that it's Dave Matthews is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm just Jay, honestly. So until I'm there, it's about everybody else. It's about the fans. It's about the people who come to the shows. It's about the people who work with me. I have phenomenal musicians. You heard the tracks. So good.
Yeah, yeah.
I can play a couple chords. You would never catch me on my own track. So it's more of like a tribute to everybody else because without you being here for this podcast, people wouldn't hear about it. And
I dig that. Everybody but Jay. Like,
yeah.
taking yourself out of the picture.
Because you find so many times musicians that like got too ahead of themselves and either sold out for money or just went off the rail drugs wise, and it's just like
facts.
Yeah, I'm here for everybody. It's music.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem going around. Now, we've talked about how it started from poetry and all that. Now, when you're making your music, are there any things that are inspirations to you, like artist wise and muse wise, like the subject matter of what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think the more that I like delve into the world of listening to what artists have to say about their own music and how they carry themselves is where my inspiration comes from. So like guys like Jack White, super diligent musician. And then people like Bob Dylan willing to, I don't know, there's a lot of famous stories where he really like cut off other people, quote unquote, to get ahead. And, Jay-Z did very similar things. So I find inspiration from those three artists specifically, and I hear it in their song because music is just your soul on a track. And then in terms of like, you were asking inspiration for like songs that I find inspiration in everything. It sounds kind of corny, but like, I met this girl in Mexico. 8 seconds later, and my friend's like, yeah, she was so cute. Like, yeah, she was whatever, And I was super excited. I was like, I have a really good feeling that this person is like awesome. And there comes a song, there's a feeling, there's a feeling. And I wrote a whole track about it. And it's like, and they were like, damn, like, so now there's like an ongoing joke with those friends. Every time I'm like, that's cool. They're like, write a song about it.
Okay. So, I mean, now that brings me to Hey Nicole.
Yeah, that's a great story. 5:30 in the morning, JFK. Everybody's like, JFK Airport, if you want to edit that, whatever. JFK Airport. Everybody's dead, glum, tired. Everyone working there, everyone flying. It's depressing New York anyway. And I'm in line, and it's a really long line. An older woman was there. I was like, oh, hey. I just started talking to her, spark up a conversation, because that's just how I am. I talk to everybody. And she said, yeah, my name's this, my name's that. I'm going to Tampa. I'm like, oh, I'm going to California. Whatever. Let's meet up when we're both back. And we did. And I had a great time. And, it got down to the nitty gritty of it. As I was leaving the bar, she's like, oh, by the way, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 23 years old. She's like, I'm 45. And I knew the whole time, but like, I can grow the facial hair. I got that Middle Eastern blood we spoke about. So I played it off, and she was like, I was like, age is a number. And she's like, not really. And I was pretty drunk, and I was so young because I remember getting there early to ask the bartender to hide my longboard behind the bar.
Oh, wow.
Because I longboarded there. And on my longboard ride back, I was like thinking of the song. I was pretty drunk also, and I was like, hey, Nicole, hey, Nicole. And just banged out a song on front steps after the date, and that's the song. It's about a song it's like a young boy pleading with this older woman, like, take me for who I am, trust me, like, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be great for both of us.
Just give me a chance.
I'll sleep early for you. You can teach me, you can tell me, like, oh, by the way, these are all the things I like about you. And all my songs are a story. So like, I love that when you ask me about a song, every song has a full on story and feeling. It's trying to put the person in.
That's cool. That's cool. I get that. All right. Well, shoot. Let's listen to Hey Nicole real quick.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, you're listening to KRBX, Colorado's only alternative station. Here's a fresh track all the way from
intro.
Brooklyn.
He's like, oh, you're moving and you're about to put this track out from Brooklyn.
Had a really good time, yeah, I can't lie. Things you said really made me smile. If it was up to me, you'd never leave, and you'd still be by my side. Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? Grab a sweater and hold me close. Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? I want you featured on the J Show. Had a really good line, I went with a smile. You would have seen right through me. Anderson Park, you gave him a shot. Now Alexa play 80s pop. Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? Grab a sweater and hold me close. Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? I want you featured on the J Show. Why don't you get up and start a fight? You're always okay with not being right. Why don't you get up and dance with me? I love when you say, yeah, he's 23. Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? 'Cause I just wanna love you. I can't lie. You can teach me better than I know why. You don't have to keep me up at night. Be my early riser, my sunshine. Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? Grab a sweater and hold me close. Ain't it cold? Ain't it cold? I think it's time we start the show.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
There's
Hey
actually this
Nicole.
podcast that took interest in us. I met this guy, like King Supers. He's like, yeah, we have 5,000 people listen to our podcast. It's about music. So I sent him my page, and he goes, we really want you, but it's actually a Christian podcast.
Oh gosh.
And because of the album artwork, we won't be able to do it. I was like, that explains why you have 5,000 people and you shop at King Supers.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. The congregation.
Yeah, exactly.
you That's dope though. So let's get into who's the instrumentalist on this song.
So these are just friends of mine. Since I grew up in New York, and this was my last song that I did in New York, I would just have buddies of mine be like, hey, like, I'll order us all pizza every rehearsal. Like, anyone needs help with the gear, I help them carry it. And just whatever I could do. I always had the weed. I had a lot of my friends, like, lived at home still since we all grew up there. And I was like, yo, you guys play music, and I'll make it a fun experience for you. And, they laid down some tracks. We would play, like, a couple live shows. And everyone's pretty cool. And, again, emphasis on the everybody but, like, this was not a Jay thing. This was an everybody thing.
I get that. That's dope to have as like a mission statement for like your brand. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're nothing without the people around you and the fans that listen to the music. And with what you're doing, like, you can't do it by yourself. You've gotta trust in these people to, bring their inspirations and their expertise to the music that you write as well. So, I mean, now, Hey Nicole, it's definitely like I'm getting like a no effects feel, like, and so, but I want to know, what do you consider your style?
So the music I was making back home was like pop punk, 100% through and through. And I kind of outgrew it in a sense where I said, this is nice and I like it, but I'm developing my ear and I'm developing my taste. And it's my roots, and I'll always owe everything to pop punk and what it did for me music wise. But I started getting into more different kind of sounds. I wanted my own unique sound. So the stuff that's coming out soon, I actually sent you a sample of some stuff that we're working on. It's really close to end.
Into that.
And it's like jazz swing meets indie pop, but at the same time, okay, you're gonna hear like subgenres that go like metal punk, and you think, okay, it's a hybrid of metal and punk, or classic rock, it's classical and rock. This is like, think jazz swing, but roots of pop punk through the whole thing, all the way through. Because we recorded, produced, everything on this album is done completely sober, because I wanted everyone to really feel my soul on that track. Anyone who knows me as like a party person, and then they saw me totally sober. They were like, "This is way more genuine," and it's definitely something I'm working on. Definitely one of my demons for sure.
Hey, I mean, first step is admitting it and understanding. But so when it comes to like have you done any like shows or performances in the area
Not yet.
since you've been here?
Nah, I actually just got together with this band.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody out here who has a dream, it's very easy today. And I don't mean that you don't have to work, but it's a lot easier than you think. I reached out to strangers on the internet. Yes, we had to shuffle through a couple of time differences, maybe a couple of different drummers, but they were willing to make music, especially in a time like now. I urge everybody out there with a dream to go and ask for help in places they need help.
Yeah.
I cannot play 6 instruments at once, but luckily these people can. This is a time where people are willing to work. We've been locked in our house, and guess what? The race is starting. Whether you've been training or not, you better start running.
Yeah, right.
And that's my advice to everybody in any field that they have, any dream. Start running.
Now
is the race.
You guys doing this remotely,
Absolutely not.
or you guys are all meeting up?
We're meeting up and
jamming?
everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's the best way to do it. I mean,
I like
the old school, the garage band way.
yes, but at the same time, like
It's possible. Today. It's
possible to
though.
do it remotely if that
There's
is
no
a concern.
excuse.
And
There's no excuse.
and
to not
anybody
want
out there,
anything
like,
done.
just be respectful. If somebody wants you to wear a mask, I wear a mask. I ask them all the time. Hey, by the way, someone's like, "Oh, I'm going home. Can you wear a mask this
Yeah.
rehearsal?" Sure thing. And I'm the vocalist.
Yeah.
So
I'm blowing my air everywhere.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's cool. Yeah.
That's dope though. So you've got the band set up. What's the plans right now? Just trying to finish this project.
No, the project is pretty much finished. I'm just nitpicky, so we're redoing the vocals.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I wanted to get some coaching because I said I didn't like them the first time around. Again, reached out to somebody. Vocal coaches are pretty expensive. I was able to really talk to somebody, tell them my story, and they felt the genuineness of me. They gave me a really good deal on vocal lessons. And this is not just anybody. This is an acclaimed vocal coach in Denver. So I'm getting a little bit of coaching. We're going to go in the studio. That's just a matter of time. I give it a month till all the tracks are ready. The 2021 goal is be known and established in Denver. I want to rep Denver on my back, just like other artists rep.
Networking.
Yeah, networking, being on cool shows like this one. Honestly, this is one of the coolest shows I've been on. I've been
Thank
on
you,
3 other
thank you.
podcasts, and this is
Appreciate
the setup, the vibe, the energy. It makes me just really, really feel like I gotta do something artistic. I don't know. It's really inspirational.
That's good. That's
I like
what we
it.
look for.
And the goal is be huge. Like, I have so many ideas. You guys probably all know the governors that were running, or the mayors that were running, because they had picket signs outside of everybody's door. So my creativity doesn't end once I close the rehearsal studio for the night. My inspiration doesn't end, and it should never end for any creator. So if I'm gonna have
Facts.
picket signs at all the homies' houses out front with a big fat QR code, people are gonna scan it. It's going to
Yeah.
cost me a little bit, all right? So we got to play a show and then reinvest it.
Yeah.
Again, creativity, but also I'm from New York, so everything's a business.
Yeah.
We track numbers. If anybody here is an artist, get an LLC. It costs you $50, $100 write-offs. You need gasoline to get to the show. You need new drumsticks. What else do you need? You need vocal coachings. It's a write-off. Write it off. I told my accountant, by the way, I'm not teaching anymore. I'm doing music full time. He goes, beautiful. We're gonna get so much money back now.
Yeah. So I mean, now I'm seeing this East 7th Arts. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's my whole soul. That's everything. So, I really had no direction in my life. Coming out of high school, I took a gap year. I traveled a little bit, and it wasn't great for me mentally. I was young. I was alone. I wasn't doing well, and I was coming back home, and mom and dad were like, "Yo, there's no shot. You're doing nothing. Here's this job. Call them and apply." It was 2 hours a day working with kids with autism, which later transpired into my whole college career in psychology, which later led to me teaching kids with autism for close to 5 years. And they get music and art therapy. I noticed how big of a change it makes in their whole day, in their behavior, in their academics. Kids in specialized schools, they take data on everything. Not like I take data, you got a 70 on the test. No. When he spelt ball, he spelt it correctly the first and third time. I know everything, every little piece of data. Behavior-wise, we also track their behaviors. What did they do? What did they do before? Were they calm? Were they well-behaved? And it's all there. The days they had music and art, the days it made a huge difference. The only reason why they didn't have it every single day was because of funding. So, we were moving to a bigger building, and they said there's no more funds for art and music at all. So I called up all the homies, and I said, your band, your band, your band, your band. Called another friend, you're a live painter, you're a live painter. Called my friend who did comedy. He got me 3 comics that were all on Comedy Central before. We got them in my parents' backyard. Think about a half-court basketball court size. There's a balcony taking up 1/3 of that. And then you cram maybe like 200-300 people like sardines. And I didn't charge anybody a cent. I raised awareness that this is a problem I'm having. And people came up to me. $5, $20. Some guy gave me 100. I came the next day with a fat stack of cash. I said, music, we back. The dean came up to me. She's like, whoa.
How did you do this?
Yeah, I don't know how I did it. It was everybody. That's another thing. It was everybody. It wasn't me. Everyone's like, yeah, I'll play a show in your backyard, even though I usually get paid to play shows and I have to schedule everything. And it was a weeknight, too.
Yeah.
So everyone was like super cool about it. Nobody took a penny. 0. I didn't charge anybody anything. And it was all just from the good of people's heart. The school saw how big of a difference it was, and it spread awareness to them even. The school's been around for 13 years, and they were like, wow, we really can't take this lightly anymore. There will always be art and music. We started this organization now that you could literally... You ever see the movie Accepted? Where the guy can't make a college, he goes, I told you to write that acceptance is a click away. Don't actually make it clickable. I made it clickable. You can go on the site now and apply in anywhere in the country. And you could apply as a parent for your son or daughter, or for your, if you're a teacher, for your student, if you're a therapist and you want work, because there's a lack of jobs in art and music therapy. But people don't know, it's actually one of the hardest master's programs, period. You have to be able to play at least 3 different instruments and have at least close to perfect pitch for them to accept you into a program. So, we really are. We're in full throttle. We're running. We have events in Brooklyn, the Jersey Shore, and Denver this year, and it's my baby. It really grew out of our Brooklyn backyard, and it's really emerging. And I'm really proud of my team. Shout out to David, my partner. Guys, no feelings or attachment to anything with kids with autism, but he liked what I was doing and he hopped on board, and he is my right hand man. So
That's dope.
people are awesome.
And what was the website for that?
East7tharts.org. I'll spell it out for you. East, EAST, 7THARTS.org.
Awesome. We definitely gonna have that in the description so y'all can check that out. Definitely a good cause. And man, so do we have a name for this project?
Yeah, we're Everybody But Jay. That's the name of the band.
I mean, well, for the project that you've just finished.
This is still the same band. I really just switched over genres. We have 3 songs in like the pop punk area, and now I'm really taking it full on. I think I'm gonna leave it there, online and accessible though, with the same name, because it's cool to see when artists evolve. If you listen to like old Red Hot Chili Peppers and you hear their 80s stuff versus their 90s stuff, Beatles 50s and 60s stuff, 60s and 70s stuff, it's a difference. Granted, this is a big jump, but the band is Everybody But Jay. It's gonna stay that way, and we plan on making music for Everybody But Jay.
Okay. So you guys just any planned songs coming out?
Yeah. I would say mid-March, expect the first single. Mid-April, single number 2, and then we're gonna probably drop the whole album by summer. Let everybody get excited.
I know you gave me a little preview, and you wanted me to, you want to play that for them.
We'll tease them a little bit.
Give them a little taste.
I'll sing a little bit. This is the instrumentals. We were just talking about how the vocals didn't come out great, so this is the instrumental. I'll give you some of the fresh vocals.
Okay.
So this song's about you're trying to send this text and you don't know, is this girl worth it? You know, we kind of discussed that one earlier. There's a feeling. That's what the started with. Started with the swipe of a thumb. I always thought those apps were dumb. Does she like it even a little? With my heart, will she fiddle? There's a feeling. There's a feeling. Should I take my? There's a feeling. There's a feeling. There's a feeling. Should I take my? I can't hear anything. I just want to let you know. Nah, it's cool. It's got a lot of spoken word and instrumental parts in there. So like this part comes here is like, you know those 3 dots? It's coming up, I'll tell you. You know those 3 dots? We all do. And so does she. But what she really wants to know is, what's on your mind? Do you have a mind? Have you made it up? Cause she has. And then it goes into a sax like line. It goes do 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 do. Sorry, it's not on there. Just like you record sax after vocals, so they have to take it off. And it's a 6 sax solo, and then it goes into 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a feeling. There's a feeling. There's a feeling. Should I take my? There's a feeling. There's a feeling. There's a feeling. Should I take my? Text the blue, mine are green. From my mind, I am free. Can I tell you about that picture I took? Kinda like your disappointing look, yeah. There's a feeling, there's a feeling. There's a feeling, should I take my? There's a feeling, there's a feeling. There's a feeling, should I take my? There's a feeling, there's a feeling. There's a feeling, should I take my? What's your IG, do you post? Saw your story, does she know? Can I tell you about that time? Kinda bomb the lyric or what? Yeah. There's a feeling, there's a feeling. There's a feeling, should I take my? There's a feeling, there's a feeling. There's a feeling, should I take my? Should I take my? Should I take my? Should I take my shot?
Hey. Yeah. See, I get completely what you're saying. The the jazz, the pop punk. It's all there. Yeah.
It's all there, and it's not weird. It's not like I tried to eat a tuna and jelly sandwich. Like it's good.
Yeah. Didn't was no cringe there. It was definitely I gotta see a session of this at some point. Like I gotta see everybody together, just like maybe like a behind the scenes one day of a practice.
For sure, yeah.
Or something like
yeah,
that.
for
We
sure. Come to the
definitely
next
gotta do
practice.
something like
Wednesdays
that.
nights we do a practice. You're more than welcome to
Okay,
swing by.
bet. Definitely, man. This is great, man. Definitely, you guys gotta check out Everybody But Jay, cause that's what it's about, man. This man is one of the humblest people I've met, and I can definitely say that his whole image with this group and yourself, even with everything that you've done, you definitely like to put people together and make a stand for more than just yourself, and I think that's great. I definitely commend you with that, and your organization East 7th Arts. That's amazing. I commend you for that, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more from you guys.
Yeah, any Denver listeners out there, we're having an event for East 7th Arts on June 2nd, and it's going to be great. I don't play my own events. That's part of the, like, I want to put my full energy into raising money for these kids. Unfortunately, unlike the first event, which is iconic, people still talk about it today. I'm, as Kanye would say, hood famous. Like, just from that event, I walk down the street, I go to the market, they all know me. It's kind of crazy. It's like it's kind of cool. But this event, not free, pretty cheap, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to knock your socks off, ask you for more and more, and all the money you spend's going to a great place.
Definitely, man. Everybody look forward to that. We're definitely going to have everything about you in the organization in the description. Man, thank you for coming on the show. Definitely got to give you a dap on camera, man.
No, facts.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you coming, man.
That was
and,
huge. This has been great. I really feel like
you.
Yeah, you have great energy.